The Great Plains region.
The Great Plains region is great indeed. Cattle everywhere eating sorghum seed. The Paladin King has some colorful walls in the Rocky Land basin called Don't Fall.
The Love Lake town is the hub of the plains. It's pretty dry there, hardly ever rains. P.U. Do you smell that smell? It's a helium from Amarillo. Well, the town means yellow, and that's just fine because the tar loves that color and it's all rhymes. The GPER is grand for sure. It's a fun place to visit, and it's your boredom pure.
Mountain and Basins region. Yee-haw! Hang on to your hat. We're high above the sea. What you think about that? The basin of this region like low balls. The deserts are dry. The Davis Mountains are high.
Here the rocky soil makes the farming tough. Better watch out for the rattles because they'll hurt your stuff. El Paso is the only major city around. It's in a different time than the most other towns. I've heard El Capitan looks like a giant ship. I think I'm gonna plan me an MMB trip. Word!
Mountain Basin region.
Yee-haw! Hang on to your hat. We're high above the sea. What do you think about that?
The basins of this region are like little bowls. The deserts are dry and the Davis Mountains are high.
Here the rocky soil makes farming tough. Better watch out for the rabbits because they hurt your stuff.
El Paso was the only major city around. It's in a different time zone than most other towns.
I've heard El Captain. Looks like a giant ship.
I think I'm gonna plan me an
MMB trip.
We're
the Coastal Plains region.
My very favorite region is the CPR, the Coastal Plains region. It's the largest by far. You got the pine woods and Blackland Plain too. I hear these are places with lots of things to do.
There's Houston and there's Austin and there's San Antonio, but Big D, Dallas is the place you ought to go.
I like this region best of all the CPR's home. It's got everything a kid could want where deer and cowboys roam.
Coastal Plains region.
My very favorite region is the CPER. That's the Coastal Plain region. It's the largest by far.
You got your piney woods and your Black and Prairie too. I heard these other places we have lots of things to do.
There's Houston and there's Austin and San Antonio. The Big D, Dallas is the place you ought to go.
I like this region best of all because CPR is home.
It's got everything the kid can want.
Where the deer and the cowboys roam.
Central Plains region.
The Central Plains region is a fascinating place. People like it slower, the pace not a race.
You got your cross timber rolling plains and Grand Prairie. There are lots of places and trees for you to see.
So come on, y'all, check out the big CP. That's the Central Plains region. That's the place you ought to be.
The Central Plains region.
The Central Plains region is a fascinating place. People like it slow there. It's a pace, not a race. You got your cross timbers and rolling hills and your Grand Prairie. There's also trees and hills for you to see.
So come on, y'all, check out the big CP. That's the Central Plains region. It's the place to be.
The Coastal Plains region. My very favorite region is CPR. That's the Coastal Region Plains. It's the largest by far. You got your piney woods and the Blackland Plain too. I've heard these are the places with lots of things to do.
There's Houston, there's Austin, and the San Antonio, but the Big D, Dallas is a place you ought to go.
I like this region best of all. CPR's home. It's got everything a kid could want, where deer and cowboys roam.
Mountain Basin region.
Yeehaw! Hold on to your hats. We're about 9,000 feet above the sea. What do you think about that?
The basin regions are like low bows, but here the deserts are dry and the Davis Mountains are high. Here are the rocky soils that makes farming tough. Better watch out for the rattlers because they will hurt your stuff. El Paso is the only major city around in a different time zone than most of the towns.
I've heard that the El Capitan looks like a giant ship. I think I'm going to plan me an
MMB trip. Great Plains regions rock.
The Great Plains region is great indeed.
There are cattle everywhere.
Eat a sorghum seed.
The Palo Canyon has some colorful walls.
And the Rocky Mountain Basin seems to call out.
Don't fall.
Volga town is the hub of the plains.
It's pretty dry there.
Hardly ever rains.
P.U., do you smell that smell?
It's the helium from Amarillo.
Well, the town beans yellow, and that's just fine.
Because Miss Todd was the color.
Hey, this all rhymes.
The GPR is grand for sure.
It's a fun place to visit.
It's a warm tune.
What the heck?
The Coastal Plains region. The Coastal Plains region is a fascinating place. People like it slow though. It's a pace, not a race.
You got your cross timbers, rolling plains, and grand prairie. There are lots of plants and hills and trees for you to see.
So come on, y'all, check out the big CP. The Central Plains region is a place to be.
Central Plains region. The Central Plains region is a fascinating place. People like it slow down. It's a pace, not a race.
You got your cross timbers, rolling plains, and grand prairie. There are lots of plants and hills and trees for you to see.
So come on, y'all, check out the
Big CP.
The Central Plains region is the place to be.
Mountains and Basins region.
Yeehaw! Hang on to your hat. We're about 9,000 feet above the sea. What you think about that?
The basins of the region are like low bowls. Here the deserts are dry and the Davis Mountains are high.
Here the rocky soil makes farming tough. Better watch out for the rattlers because they will hurt your stuff.
El Paso is the only major city around.
It's in a different time zone.
Than most other towns.
I have heard El Capitan looks like a giant ship.
I think I'm gonna play in me.
And I'm in B Trip.
The Great Plains region.
The Great Plains region is great indeed. There are cattle everywhere eating sorghum seeds.
The Palo Canyon has some colorful walls, and the Rocky Mountain Basin seems to call out,
Don't fall.
Lubbock town is the hub of the plains. It's pretty dry there. Hardly ever rains.
What do you smell? It's helium from Amarillo. Well,
The town means yellow, and that's just fine, because Miss Todd loves that color, and this all wrong.
The GPR is grand for short. It's a fun place to visit. It's your boredom cure.